Thanks for staying with us. Well, as a former flight attendant, who knew? Miss Sallie Plass shares her etiquette tips that could be helpful if you are traveling by air. Simply put, you want to treat others the way you would be treated. Sounds simple, but people don't always follow that rule. So to explain with some details and we're going to have to explain this, Sallie, is our etiquette coach, Miss Sallie Plass. Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. It's a great day. Now, I had to bring this because look at this big slit that we used to have. This is what I wore many years ago. We had to wear this at all times with high heel pumps, and we wore jackets when we greeted the passengers, and it was fun. Anyway, we're getting ready for a lot of vacation time. I know.
I love that you brought this.
Well, it was so old, but I still had my wings, and yes, I loved it. I was the lead flight attendant, so I got to tell everyone what to do and, you know, where the oxygen masks were and all that. But we're getting ready for vacation season, and a lot of us will be flying, and so there are some tips that I thought would be helpful from a flight attendant standpoint.
Yes. Okay, the number one thing is we get our seat assignment. Some of us are very particular about which seat we want.
Yes.
Well, say we don't get the seat we want. Is it okay to ask somebody to switch with us?
No.
Oh, man.
No, I'm sorry. No, the only thing, like on Southwest, where it's first come, first serve, you might ask a flight attendant to help you if you're with your family or with small children or someone but otherwise, no. It's your seat.
Is that safety reasons?
No, it's just courtesy.
Okay.
They have reserved their seat ahead of time. They've requested a certain seat or, you know, received it based on when they made their reservations. That's their seat.
So what if somebody is also kind of complaining about their seat and we're just like, oh, do you want to switch? Is that okay?
It is not okay.
Oh, Sallie.
No, I'm sorry.
So you're stuck.
You're basically stuck unless someone really sees that you're in an extenuating circumstance that you couldn't, you know, rearrange. Southwest is a little bit different because you don't have assigned seats, but if you have an assigned seat, that's it. And that is also partly for safety too. The airlines keep that manifest of where every passenger is seated on the airplane so that if anything were to ever happen or they wanted to trace back to something, you know, that was dangerous or left on the airplane.
So they are tracking us.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, they know.
Be aware.
Yes. And if you were to ask the flight attendant to change, she can check it. She knows where your seat was assigned.
She can't be sneaky and try to, you know, grab that seat a little farther forward.
It may have happened before.
Yeah,
All right, let's talk the middle seat.
Yes.
Most people don't want the middle seat.
No.
And a lot of it has to do with the armrest because it's like, where do you put your arms? Which I deal with that problem every day. But on the airplane, are those your armrest?
Yes, if you are in the middle and you had the privilege to get that middle seat, let's look at that in a positive way, you need someplace to put your arms, and the outside seats, they have either the window or the aisle to lean towards. You should use that armrest if you're on the aisle or the window.
I am so going to use that next time I'm on a plane because I swear every time I do, people are like, oh, I need more space. I'm just going to stick my arms out. And I'm like,
I know, and you're stuck. Yes, you're literally stuck, and you're just crowded, and you don't know where to put your legs.
Yeah, what do? Do you just knock their arms
yeah,
out?
You don't want to touch them.
It's easier to say it than it is to do it. I'm not good at pushing someone's elbows off either, but if you go ahead and sit down and go ahead and kind of take your place.
Claim your space.
Yes.
I like the slapping the arm.
I'm very guilty of just the mean mugging them in my head, being like, you know what you're doing right now.
Well, and if you're a man
like they don't.
and you have to sit in the middle seat, you need to be aware of your legs. You know how men kind of like to sprawl out sometimes?
You man spreaders.
Be aware of your personal space and their personal space.
That's good advice. Actually, we should put a sign on every seat saying close your legs.
Be aware. Be aware.
All right, let's talk about food and drink. On the plane.
And I heard you mention going to sleep before.
Yeah, so this one, a lot of times, you know, when they're going through and going down the aisle, doing the drink and the beverage and food service, what if we're asleep and we miss our peanuts, because some snacks are coming back on planes now, or we miss our drink? Is it okay to hit the call button?
It actually is not. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. No, because if it's on a short domestic flight, they don't have time to come back and serve you again. So if you feel like you're going to go to sleep and you're traveling with a friend, I would go ahead and let them know, please order me a drink or take the snack for me.
I actually just learned too recently on a flight that if you get stuck on the tarmac, that you can't ask for anything, but then there's like certain protocols that if it's like 1 hour on, 2 hour on, like 1 hour's water, 2 hour they give out snacks.
Yes.
But you cannot ask for a drink because
Really?
I did, and
Well, you know why?
I did not get one.
Can you imagine?
I know.
You're
not
all
our
sitting
fault
there
that we're
waiting and
stuck.
waiting and drinking and drinking. That's true, but it is based on a
Very
time frame.
defensive.
I just remember thinking.
But then you all have to get up and go to the restroom.
that is true. I was just like, if I had a glass of wine, I wouldn't even be mad right now.
Yeah,
I would be
agree.
fine with this situation.
That's when they should give out the free drink tickets.
After so many hours, after so much time, they will.
Yeah,
They will.
I was
But if
like
you're on
10
a-
minutes away from that moment.
No. If you're on an active runway, they can't have passengers up and down the aisles. That's part of that.
Yes, I do recall learning that.
All right, what about getting sick?
Oh,
It happens, people,
It
and
happens.
those bags are not that
No.
big.
Not gonna take care of it.
no.
They're like little lunch bags. You have to have good aim.
Yes, and actually, if someone has already taken them for another reason, and you
That's
don't have a
true.
bag to grab, you're in deep trouble. So if you start feeling queasy or weird or off, turn the air vent on yourself, but then make sure there's an airbag in the back seat of the pocket. If you do go ahead and get sick, you will probably need to ring the call button
Yes.
and let the flight attendant know so they can take the bag away and they can seal it up, wrap it up so that it's not.
Have you ever
stinking up
had
the
one of
airplane.
those situations?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes.
goodness.
And where they actually don't make it to the bag.
Oh,
yes.
goodness.
And children, a lot of times, they don't tell their parents necessarily that they're feeling bad. So that becomes a little
Then
bit
you have
of
the
an awkward-
ripple effect because when somebody else gets sick, then everybody gets sick,
Yes.
and it's just not a good situation.
Yes, but you can't help it when you're
No,
sick.
it's
I know,
embarrassing.
it's embarrassing. It's horrible, but that's when I say you need to ask the flight attendant for help.
All right.
Help everyone out by doing
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Good rules. A lot of those probably we didn't know, like seat changers. So we
The
appreciate
same way
it.
with the overhead bin in your luggage.
Oh, yeah.
Once someone's luggage is there, that's their spot.
That's true. See, we can't just take it and throw it out and put our own stuff.
Shove it over. And
Sally, you're ruining our flight experience, but you're making it better for everybody
Yes.
else. So it's way
about
more
common
important.
courtesy and how you would want to be treated as well.
Common sense, right?
Yes, yes.
It's lacking sometimes.
Yes.
Well, if anybody has any questions about if this is the right thing to do or what we should do instead, how do we get a hold of you?
Well, I'm etiquetteenrichment.com. I have a Facebook page, and you can email me at sallieplass@gmail.com.
Perfect. I'm sure a lot of us, that may have raised some more questions.
I hope everyone goes and sees that before their next flight so that we'll all be happy and we can enjoy our flights.
Good point. Well, thank you so much. As always, it's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.